Welcome
Welcome.
to Shade in the City. I'm your girl, Treese.
It's Nels.
Yeah, it's Nels. And today we are here to review. We got to do this over. This is the second time, take two, because I didn't even say what we were reviewing. But we are here for Married at First Sight, season 16, episode 7. Don't get me lying about what the name of the episode is. But welcome back, Shade Squad, and welcome all of our new viewers. And yes, Nels has no more sick days and is on her probationary period, so she had no choice but to report. Now, yes, if you have not already, please make sure that you hit that like button.
And that subscribe button.
And y'all, let's get into it. It's a lot to unpack, a lot of emotions, feelings, separation anxiety. Let's get into it. Let's get shady. We left off, and Gina is still trying to calm herself down after this conversation with Clint. She thinks Clint doesn't see anything wrong with his statement, while Clint is outside and he decides to have like a one-on-one with Eris and Chris, and he's telling them what went down. And he feels like he was just stating his preferences just like she did. And I kind of felt the same. Eris says that it may be an insecurity that triggered Gina, which I do believe she mentioned something about she did used to be a little bit bigger and that's why she was in the gym or whatever. But however, she don't know what his triggers are. So we need to keep that same energy when we are giving criticism and things we don't like and preferences, okay?
Period.
Right. He explains that it's not what he said, but it's how she interpreted it.
Mm-hmm.
And my notes even say, look at Eris being the voice of reason, okay?
Shocker.
Right. So Chris feels Clint is just a blunt guy, and he can appreciate that. So that he's so upfront, it's not always easy to hear. Eris asks if he could recognize that he might have said something wrong, and he agrees that looking back, he could have handled it better. So he feels like he has a lot of thinking to do, and Eris actually encourages him to go, go through with the dinner and go through everything, try to have a conversation before you just throw the towel in. And Gina lets us know that her and Clint do end up talking, and that he did give her an apology before they show up for dinner. So drop down in the comment, Shade Squad. Please let us know what you think. Do you think that this apology was warranted?
We know you don't.
No. You know me, I said what I said, and I meant it when I said it the first time. If anything, you would get the I'm sorry if it made you feel apology.
You're the worst.
Oh, and by the way, Shade Squad, if you didn't hear, guess what? It's Pisces season.
I think they heard.
Oh, okay.
I think they heard. Well, at this point,
it's Pisces season.
At this point, Clint also took the opportunity to address the entire table. He says, he tries to be authentic as possible, which could also lead him to being, strong and wrong a lot of the times. Mm-hmm. But he let them know that it wasn't malicious. He was just trying to give them context on, his past life. Nicole ain't here for it. Okay. She feels like what he said was disgusting, and he didn't even apologize. Now, I did notice that. I was like, okay, Nicole. She was like, yeah. So you said all that to say what?
And actually, apparently, this apology or rant explanation went on for 45 minutes, is what Nicole said. We only saw clips of it, thank God. But apparently,
and through all that, he didn't apologize.
Yeah, he did 45 minutes and did not apologize. And she even compared him to because Stasia was on the show, I believe. They even compared him to Mitch. And I said, damn, that's a pretty good comparison. Except Mitch would have stood in his. Gotta love Mitch.
Gina said that they had a conversation about it and he immediately wholeheartedly apologized. And she feels that it really just boils down to verbiage, which is the same thing Eris told him. And she didn't really mean like, I guess what she said to him, she's saying like she didn't really mean it like that in the moment. Girl, bye. Ciao, ciao, bye. She's trying to cover her own ass now.
I think that we get to, she says, everybody says things that they, say and then they wish they hadn't have said. And so, she's willing to move forward and basically forgive him because he was able to forgive her rude ass too.
But basically, she says normally in a situation like this, she would have ran, but in this situation, she couldn't. So she feels like, it was super healthy for them to face it head on.
Cole basically says that, she can speak for the table, that all of them were kind of offended and unhappy, and really that changed their opinion of Clint, basically. But since Nicole, I'm sorry, not Nicole, but since Gina is deciding that she's gonna move forward and she's gonna speak for the table and say that they can all give him a clean slate as well. I said, when did she become the Married at First Sight team representative spokesperson? What?
Child, that's what that big mouth do.
I guess it do. I ain't mad at
it. Gina says it's been a week since they've all been married. And it's their last night on their honeymoon. So if they could rate their relationships on a scale from 1 to 10, physical and emotional, and everything combined, what would it be at leaving your honeymoon? Now, Max says they had a few speed bumps. She's not really feeling his sense of humor, but it's something he's working on. But he's trying to figure out how to convey how he's really feeling, and it's not making no sense.
He's looking for someone to pull him out of his introverted and know that he has room to grow. He tells her emotionally and physically he thinks she's great. And they both agree that their number is a 7.5, and he wants to work towards a 10 with her. And Dom then says, thank God she coached 12-year-olds last year.
What?
Basically, she mentions nothing about herself or anything that she needs to work on. And she talks about how, oh, thank God I coached a group of 12-year-old kids last year, basically saying that she feels like she's coaching a child. Coach.
Oh, I missed
it was shady as.
She said that at the table?
Yeah, she said that at the table. Because even Jasmine was like, it was very shady. Y'all, Dom don't like him.
Wow, I missed that.
Dom like him about as much as Eris like Jasmine, but we'll get into that.
Chris says it's better than he expected. He didn't really know what to expect, but he gives them an 8.2. And Nicole said that he literally took the words out of her mouth, but feels that they can get back, that when they get back from their honeymoon, things just might change. And, they may have their little battles, but gave them the rating because they don't know basically nothing about each other yet. So they're at 8.2. Now, everybody's curious to hear about Shaq and Kirsten. Kirsten says that they had a moment earlier about his joking, but she let him know that there's a time and a place for that. Now, physically and emotionally, she's rating their relationship at a 7. I feel like 7 is the safe number. Basically, they feel like they have a lot in common, and everything feels natural. And, he agrees with the 7. He's excited to see where it goes from there. Tina says that she's pleased with where they are, but she feels like they're at like a solid 5. And she feels like that's good for them, but she's hopeful that it'll move up from there. And Clint is relieved to hear that, especially after coming back from where they were.
Did anybody realize how far they were sitting apart?
Girl, she said they was at a 5. What you think?
It was giving 3. It was not giving 5. It was giving 3.
Oh. Well, he gave them a 5.5. Maybe he was trying to inch in a little bit closer.
He gave him a 5.5 because he said they, the fact that they've been through something and they came out stronger. And I have in my notes, or at least he thinks so, That's why he gave him a 5.5. Now, Jasmine and Eris are last, but definitely not least. Jasmine talks about her concerns with Eris never being in love and worries that, with her usually falling in love so fast, she's worried about if it's going to be reciprocated. So she knows she can't hold that against him and believes he just hadn't met her yet. Girl, I'm sorry. You know what? It's giving optimism, it's giving hopeful.
Didn't I tell you though he wasn't going to be attracted to her?
But it's also giving delusion. Um, now, and I'll get into that Shade Squad because it's more to that. I feel like he tells her things that are, I think, to you or I, when we hear them, we'd be like, he don't like you. But when she hears them, she somehow morphs it into somehow a positive.
I'm guessing because he still gives her hope.
Yeah, he's playing in her face. But anyway, so however, she knows that she can't hold that against him. She thinks that they have fun and they're where they need to be at this moment. And she gives it a 7.5 or 8. Now, Eris tells them that he's at a 7. Both Shaq, Chris, I'm sorry, not both. I can't even say both because I mean 2. Everybody look at his ass and be like, what are you talking about? Lies. The lies. So Mac even goes and tells productions that he feels some people weren't being truthful. Kirsten is having a hard time keeping her face together as well. And Eric says he's still hopeful that they can get to a 10. So then Chris puts him on the spot and asks him if he thinks he can fall in love with Jasmine. I said, good job, Chris. Good job. Now, Eric says he doesn't know, but this is what he signed up for. And, it's only been a week. He admits the situation still feels crazy to him. And Jasmine is just really blown by all the deep questions. And Chris tells production he thinks Jasmine is ready to be a wife. And Eris obviously is not ready to be anybody's husband. So, yeah. And then they leave their honeymoons. And I think the only thing that I got from that is that Eris makes it a point to let us know how important his alone time is to him. He then says that he feels guilty that he's not interested as Jasmine is. And he says he is attracted to her, but their attraction levels aren't the same yet. And they probably never will be. Yeah. But maybe they don't have to be, and Shade Squad, drop down in the comments. We hear a lot of people say, I think there was a survey that went out and they say a lot of women marry men or they were not attracted to their husbands and they clearly married them for other reasons. Now we know men work differently.
Me.
Okay, so I just say that to say, Shade Squad, do you think that maybe this can balance even if she's
I think it's okay if the woman is not attracted. Men are visual. They have to be attractive.
Well, drop down in the comments.
Women can grow to love you for other reasons. Men have to want you visually.
Or as Kojo said, don't choose me. Don't choose me. Mac thanks Dom for basically putting up with him. And Dom says that she's surprised that this is something that he's decided to go through with because she wants him to do the same things that she wants to do. And I thought this was kind of crazy. She's like, she wants them to both be excited about doing things and her not having to push him. And he's like, bitch, that's not who I am. I'm not gonna like to do something just because I'll try it. And yes, I'm doing it because I care about you. And that's what love and relationships is. But no, I don't want to do this.
I can't make myself like it.
Hey, I watch bad movies all the time with my boo. And he knows I tell him it's a bad movie, but I still sit there and watch it. It's just, it's a part of the, it's part of the thing.
Called sacrifice.
Right, sacrifice. And he just talks about how like he's the kind of guy he needs to be hyped up for activities like and he blames it on being Midwestern. It says, he kind of, talks with his brother, and that's how he like prepares itself for things and gets psyched up for things. And she's like, I'm not your brother. I'm not your brother. And he's like, I didn't say that.
Right?
He was like, but I need you to accept me for me and how I move and not who you're trying to mold me into.
Mm-hmm.
And Dom feels like she doesn't have room for her moment. And again, talks about how she feels like she's a damn coach. Matt tells her he feels opposite and feels like she's been critiquing him since they got there.
I'm so glad he spoke up.
Right. He doesn't look, that's where that sassiness they was talking about. He doesn't feel like he's growing and really kind of walking on eggshells, trying not to piss her off.
Mm.
He thinks he's been giving her the benefit of the doubt on his end, and that's not being returned. Shade Squad, remind me before this is over to drop some tea on y'all or some things I heard about Mac in these streets, allegedly. But anyway, so he basically lets production know that he's kind of conflicted. He thinks that maybe he set his expectations too high for this experience. And now, things are awkward because it's not what he thought it was going to be. And Dom claims that she understands and she needs to see it through his commitment and say that's what dating in Nashville has taught her, which is why she may be so hard on him, but she doesn't want him to feel attacked. No, not by any means. But attitude is a big part of her sexual and emotional attraction. You just don't like him.
Mm.
The kitty can't get witty because you don't like him.
Not the kitty can't get witty.
Nope. The kitty.
Oh, God. So they're back at the apartment. It looks like Mac is actually excited and in his comfort zone. Now she asks if he's more the traditional type and what he expects of her. He's like, what you think? Like, I want you to cook and clean and stuff. And she's
Right.
like, well. So he says no, he doesn't mind cleaning, he doesn't like clutter, he's a pretty neat guy.
And that surprises me because Dominique don't seem like the chick that even want to do that.
That's why she was asking.
Oh, I guess so. Look, I guess you know what your expectations are, so I can know that I can't.
Exactly. Because already I don't like you, so let's.
I was gonna say that was. I really feel like maybe now that you say that, I feel like maybe she asked that so she could find out.
That's another check.
Right.
So now she's actually starting to see, why the experts might have put them together, although she says it's a little too soon to tell. So they head over to Mac's place, and she feels kind of weird that, he's staying at his family friend's house or whatever, his friend's family's house.
Oh, Jesus, on the main line.
Because it makes her feel like he doesn't want to be, like he's not going to be here very long. He doesn't have anything substantial. But he explains in the confessional that, he's been there, done that, basically. He's paid for 2 apartments in a different place, and he ain't about to do that. He ain't about to waste his money like that. He want to make sure stuff work out for him. And she feels like she just really doesn't have anything to judge him off of. She's like looking through his place. She's like, is any of this stuff yours? Like, I don't have anything to judge you off of. And she feels like he lacks initiative. She's used to dating more established men. And she explains to him that it feels like, he's kind of like a roamer. He says that he came down here.
Vagabond?
A vagabond.
Isn't that what they call Steve?
That is what they call Steve. And basically, he explained that he wanted to come out here, make sure, things that he liked it first, that things would work out for him first. And she's like, okay, but you jumped into a marriage? Which, with that, she does have a point. And, he feels like that he was being upfront with her from the beginning, and now it's a big deal. So here we go with another check.
Well,
I already know you got something to say.
I told y'all, allegedly, I had some tea. If you have not already, please make sure that you have hit that like button.
And that subscribe button.
Now, word on these YouTube, IG, Twitter streets is that apparently this is not Mac's first rodeo at Married at First Sight. Apparently,
Really?
And if you remember, they said he had recently moved from California and then he had moved from somewhere else. But apparently, the word allegedly on the street is that he has been following the show, trying to get on this show
Oh.
for seasons, which is why he has nowhere to go. He didn't get planned because he's just been going trying to get on TV. And so he'll rent whatever, or Airbnb, or go live with somebody, whatever he need to do until he can. So I just think it's very interesting when I heard that, and then feeling her concerns. It is a little fishy that you would go and sign yourself up to get married at first sight, but you won't sign a lease.
Hmm.
So drop down in the comments, Shay Scott. Let us know if y'all heard it before, if y'all, what y'all think, if you believe it's true, and if you think, Mac's intentions are good, or is this just for some TV time? Let us know. Let us know. Now, so we see Chris, y'all. We see Chris outside breaking down. Nicole comes up to check on him. And I mean, she has to treat him. And I'm sorry, I think this was the first thing for me. She had to treat him like she had to get on eye level with him. Okay. I do that with my son, not my man. Okay. We here. If you don't look up, say cheese. Yeah, I'm not. So, he's upset because production informed him that there was a 2-dog limit. And obviously he has 2 dogs and Nicole has her one. He can't stand the thought of abandoning them. And Chris is, obviously very, very upset by this. And Nicole is just being amazing and consoling him. Actually, you know what I will say? Nicole is better than me because that would have been a major turnoff. Major. And I'm not saying a man can't live in his feelings, he can't show emotion, but Shade Squad, if y'all did not actually watch the episode, if you only watch a clip of that scene, you would have thought somebody died. It's not like, I even have to give more credit to old boy last season, Justin and Alexis, because he had to actually give up his dog. Whereas you just can't be with them for a couple weeks. And it's not even both, it's just one. But I have seen some arguments in these YouTube streets where some people, especially pet owners, who feel passionately and feel like, well, that's messed up. You would never say, oh, well, you can take one kid and then leave your other kid behind. So that's messed up for y'all to think that. So it's causing a lot of conversation. So this is why I'm getting so deep into it and like wanting to know what y'all think. Please drop in the comments.
Well, a lot of people think of their dogs as their kids, especially ones that don't have kids. So
right. So Nicole is just being amazing, consoling him. She reassures him that they'll figure it out. Chris tells her they have separation anxiety, and he clearly has it as well. He lets her know he's willing to do anything to make their marriage work except this. So Nicole calls her dad and asks, for a favor. And even the daddy is like, y'all ain't even been married for a week yet. And you already calling my phone because this man is breaking down. Okay. Good luck. I told you. What did he say, Jeffrey? Yeah. So she asked him to, watch her dog. So he, his don't have to be separated. And also Shade Squad, a lot of people felt like this was low key. A lot of people felt like Chris was manipulating her with his tears. I don't know if it was that deep, but I could see how people are like, she wants to be in love so bad, and he knows that. So he used it to his, I don't know. Drop down in the comments. Let me know what you think. But anyway, she doesn't want to be without her dog either, but is willing to do what she needs to make her marriage work. So she goes and she tells Chris that, she'll send Charlie, which is her dog. I guess they were talking about sending him to Florida at first. And Chris is appreciative that his wife made the sacrifice for him and believes that's what marriage is about. Nels, your thoughts?
I thought it was a nice compromise on her part.
What happened?
I thought it was a nice compromise on her part. I thought it was super thoughtful. I'm not sure I would have came up with that idea. Um,
Would you have an issue the fact that your man couldn't think of the idea, that he was so broken down and into pieces that he couldn't?
um,
And would that be unattractive to you?
I don't know. I don't have a dog that I'm like so gung ho over. So it's hard to say. If I'm relating, like if I'm trying to say like my kid or something, then it's an absolute no go. It's not even a conversation. If you're telling me that it can't work, you're willing to do everything except for this, then I guess we're just not gonna leave here together.
Well, yeah, like I said, drop down in the comment shade squad. Let us know what you think. So then apparently they go talk to production, and they have concluded that Charlie will be staying at her house with, I guess, her dad until they can find a place that will accommodate all three dogs.
Well, I think they plan to like have all three dogs over there sometimes, like at her place, so they can get acquainted with each other.
Yeah, I don't know how that's. Yeah. Anyway, here we go with another. What is it? Dog gate. But okay, doggy gate.
Chris and Nicole are excited in their super comfortable, super cozy new place. And he's really looking forward to bringing the dogs, as we know. Um, he lets her know that, he knows things may come up, but he's not the type for the drama. He doesn't like arguments. So he really just wants them to be able to talk things out. She agrees, and she's just really looking forward to coming home to her boo thing every night. So they lay in bed, and he told her how amazing it was for, her to come up with the plan that she did and ask her dad for help. And he says that it gave him a taste of what real marriage is about. Now they wake up and she notices that he takes forever, apparently, to wake up. And he notices that she won't let him sleep because she talks entirely too much.
Mm. So, Shade Squad, Shaq and Kirsten really didn't give us anything this episode, aside from the fact that they are probably both going to be snitches. Um, and I have no doubt in my mind that she is going to run back and tell Jasmine what Eris really rated her. And for some reason, Shaq gives me the energy that he's going to do the same. However, they're both looking forward to living with each other. And Kirsten is now realizing, which we've been saying this, we're on episode, I think, 6 now. No, 7. I'm sorry. We're on episode 7 now. And she's now realizing that in order for things to work, she needs to be intentional with her moves to make their relationship grow. You mean you have to stop being a butthole, Kirsten? You might actually have to try
Mm.
to give him more than just a hug and let him give you more than just a forehead kiss. Just my thoughts. Go ahead.
So, it looks like Jasmine is settling into her wifely duties. Her man to work out, and she had breakfast ready for him. I did notice, I don't know if you did, but she was not eating no bacon. Um, so they get back to the place, and he asked her how she felt about that they gave different ratings the night before, and she says that she knew that it was going to be different. She let him know that basically his family gave her the heads up on, his fuckboy-ish ways.
But she said no, he said that he thought it was off-putting, the fact that they had different ratings and that he felt a shift in her behavior. I said, oh, you were paying enough attention to realize it? I give him credit for that.
Well, she says that she can't expect people to feel the same way that she feels, and she's just trying to give him grace. And he let her know that he feels more like a friendly vibe. This woman in the confessional, she said, I ain't trying to be nobody's friend. Okay, I'm trying to be a wife. Now, he knows she's a good woman, and he just feels that he needs more time to get there with her. That's what I'm talking about as far as hope goes. He's making her feel like with time, he'll get there.
Okay, see, I guess because I can't get past well, I'm sure if something ever happened to me, you would be at the hospital to wipe my ass.
Because he knows she's a good woman. That don't mean he's a good man.
He irritates my soul. I don't know why they did this to this girl. I don't.
No, there's got to be one or two. So Eris, he's nervous about living with someone. He says that he wants their place to look modern and classy, but strangers come by. He wants them to know that Black people live there. Eris and Jasmine make it to their place, and he notices the door number says 313, which is the area code for Detroit. And he says that's where he wants to go visit his dad. So he feels like, this place is good juju. Eris reminds her that, this is his first time living with anyone and wants to know if it's normal, to be in the bathroom while she making a boo-boo, because he don't want to be. And she like, sir, I don't even want you to know when I'm making a boo-boo. Girls really don't even boo-boo. And he like, okay, well, I do that every morning.
I
Thanks.
just felt like that was a little too personal for all
It
of us.
really was. It really was. What? So he lets her know basically that the top drawer she could have, or top drawer I think she could have, but everything else, not to touch it. He says the left side of the closet is his. Don't touch it. She realizing that her husband is super bossy. He's like shoes off. Yeah, he was kind of OCD too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going.
He was very OCD and I want things this way. Yeah.
He's going through the house talking about everything is his executive decision. She's like, this man is making a lot of executive decisions. So he asked her if
Because
there was.
clearly I think it's the only child. It's I've never been with anybody else. I've never had to share. It's definitely
Yeah,
on full display right now.
very selfish.
He I don't even think he's considered her.
Mm. So he asked her if there was anything that they could do over on the trip, would she? And she says no, because she's a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. And this Negro said,
He,
I was too busy enjoying my food. Did you say something?
he does not like her.
It would have took everything inside of me not to smash his food in his face. So, anyways, they head over to Eris's house, which is a beautiful home, by the way.
I heard
Um,
allegedly Airbnb.
I could believe it because he's willing to move. So it's weird. It's weird. Because what's the other dude name? Elijah one. He
Mm-hmm.
owns his house and he wanted his wife to move into it, which would make perfect sense.
Right.
Anyways, now he's worried that she might be walking through the house, look through some drawers, find some sex toys and all types of stuff. Sir, you doing too much. Now, what? Oh, now she did notice that he has a gym in his house, which made her feel a lot better because she thought while they was on vacation that he was just trying to get away from her going to the gym every morning. So now she knows that this is just who he is. And she notices that she puts his shoes in nice clear cases and super organized. So now she's making excuses for why he wants most of the closet. Um,
He's so accommodating. Bless her heart.
um, Now, apparently, he says, once they move out of the apartment, they can get a place together. And he still wants his man cave and she wants her beauty room. This is what I was referring to. If you own a house, why would you be moving out of your house to get a place?
Because clearly they need a place that's big enough to accommodate her beauty room and his man cave.
But it's only because he said, when we move out of the place, we can get a place of our own.
I don't know.
Otherwise,
Maybe he needs this whole house for his man. I don't. He's playing in our face, y'all. He's playing in our face. Okay. And even then, if you were gonna go rent a home for this experience to make it look like you got something you don't and you're established, if you're gonna sign up for Married at First Sight, at least make it look like you're ready for a woman to be there because that house screamed that you don't want nobody else there, but much less not a woman.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised he let females spend the night. He gives me the type of dude that'll send you in an Uber home. He don't even want you sleep.
He probably do. Did he say he let people spend the night?
He does not give me that vibe. He's an only child. I don't
Well,
know why he did this to her. That's all I'm gonna say.
he did end up having a sentimental moment because she noticed the obituary by his bed. Of course, he explained that it was for his father, and apparently his uncle, had passed 2 days prior to his dad passing. So it was double funeral. And he goes into all of that. I didn't really get much out of it.
Oh, Shade Squad. If you have not already, please make sure that you hit that like button.
And that subscribe button.
So allegedly, I forgot what else I heard in these YouTube streets. So allegedly, I don't even think it was YouTube. Jasmine went on the after show with Keisha and apparently shared with us that she knows apparently one of the women that he was tearing down right before they got married, and apparently that is going to come up.
Well, he did say it was what,
2 weeks,
2 weeks before he showed up did.
and apparently they're friends on Facebook.
Who's friends on Facebook? Him and her?
No, Jasmine and the girl. She knows the girl.
She been knew the girl?
No, I mean, I don't think she knew her husband 2 weeks before she married him because she didn't know he was going to be her husband.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, y'all. Yeah. So then we end off with Gina and Clint. They're settling into their new apartment. Gina feels like they've been through a lot, but says that she's been in a relationship before where, she wasn't head over heels in love. And understands that those things takes time to grow. I'm like, how many times are you going to tell him that you are not attracted to him? And like Kojo said, don't
choose me.
So Clint is looking forward to hosting a Mexican fiesta night. And he asked her what will happen with her dog Hank while she's at work. She tells him he'll be at home or he's gonna go to work with Clint. And Clint is so excited about this for whatever reason, because I just felt like she pushed that dog onto him.
He said he was a dog lover.
I don't know your dog. I like dogs too, but I don't know your dog.
He didn't know her, but he married her. All the rushed process.
Right from under me. I mean, damn. Well, that was pretty much it. Nels, anything else to add?
Nope.
Nope, that was pretty much it, y'all. It was kind of, but overall, yeah, we saw that Eris, like I said, still don't like Jasmine, and that's unfortunate. And Clint and Gina, I think, are just faking it to make it right now, or trying to act like they like each other, but I think they're both done. And Kirsten still don't want Shaq. But I think she's going to try. We will see.
I think she's trying.
We'll see. And I think Nicole is going to, I actually think that this is going to be a repeat of last season with Alexis and Justin. I think that she's going to want love and want to be loved. And she's actually, in my opinion, a little bit more, in my opinion, she seems to be more emotional and vulnerable than Alexis. But I think having to coddle him and what is going to get on her nerves. But we'll see. Let us know what you think. If you have not already, please make sure that you hit that like button.
You comment.
You subscribe.
And you hit the notification bell.
And y'all, please make sure that you're following us on all the platforms that are the IG, the Twitter, the TikTok, and the Facebook, if you are not already. And y'all, we will catch y'all in a couple days, because it's coming on tomorrow and I got some editing to do because, no more PTO. That's all I got.
Hush.
Anyway, but yes, so we will catch y'all tomorrow, and hopefully we can get our girl. She'll be back camera ready. But if not, she still got to report to work. So, all right, guys. Thank you. We love you. And we will catch y'all next time for another review of Married at First Sight. Have a good night.
Good night.